Hey, what's going on, everybody? Goofy Rexy here, coming to you today with another installment of character review. So today is actually the second installment of character reviews that I'm going to be doing. As you guys can see, I'm going to be doing a character review on my main man Groot, and of course, everybody's favorite tree, right? If you guys haven't seen character reviews before or seen me do a previous character review, essentially what I'll be going through is just the character, where to find the character, strengths and weaknesses, as well as where you can utilize this character's full-on abilities, and be able to get the most out of the character that we're discussing today. So obviously we're going to be doing a character review on Groot. I'm jumping into some gameplay right now just so that you guys can see kind of what team I run with, which right now is the Guardians team that I currently do run Groot with. But before we dive directly right into the nitty-gritty of things, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button, so that you can subscribe to this channel. Obviously, of course, too, as well, hit the notification bell so that you will know when I do go live, when I do post videos, when my videos go live. There's some other cool links that you'll see down below too as well. My Discord link, my Twitch link. I'm on Twitch Tuesday through Friday on the regular, but then I also do every other Monday or so on Twitch too as well. So at least 4 or 5 nights a week you'll catch me on Twitch. I'm on my Discord all the time, and my Twitter link is down below too as well. So come check me out there, but of course make sure that you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and of course leave a like or a comment too as well. That does help me out on this channel. So let's dive right into into my main man Groot, as we can see him right here. So let's talk about where you can find Groot. So first and foremost, you can find Groot in the Nexus 2.9 campaign, right? You got to know where to get him. You can find him in the Nexus 2.9 campaign. He's actually relatively easy to get in the early part of the game. In my personal opinion, I think that there is, I think you either need to finish Villains Chapter 1 or I think it's either the Villains or the Heroes campaign that you have to finish. Not fully, but you have to at least get through some of it in order to be able to unlock the Nexus campaign. I can't remember right now. I'll put it in the comments when I do figure that out. But yeah, he's available in Nexus 2.9. It's not a very hard node for you to actually get through. It's one of those protective nodes, or where you have to protect like a shield operative in order for it to close the breach that is there. So you want to make sure that you bring in probably like a protector or somebody that can keep damage away from shield operative, while she can, I think it's 4 times that she has to use to close a breach, or you can kill everybody and then not have to even deal with that in the first place. But yeah, that's pretty much essentially where you go and find Groot. In my opinion, this is my overall summary on Groot, just to kind of start some things off, is that he's a good character to have in the early part of the game. He's a support character. In my opinion, he's one of the best support characters in the game. Obviously, you have other characters like Minerva, Mr. Sinister, there's, Doctor Strange, a lot of really, really good characters that do have the support tag. So definitely, they're better support characters than Groot, but I think Groot is one of the best support characters that you can find in the game. He's a very good base stats character. I do have mine at gear tier 13, so it might kind of be a little bit off for, in terms of probably where you want to bring your Groot to. But he does have very good base stats. He has extremely high health. He does very good damage. And he also has a very high armor, which I think bodes really well for him as a character, not just for the early part of the game, but then also as well as you go towards the middle part to the mid to maybe late part of the game. I don't think Groot's necessarily a late game character, but he's a good early to mid part of the game character that you can use, move, kind of to start things off. He's a character that gives defense up, gives death proof. He can do a little bit of heals too as well, clear debuffs, gives immunity. And he's also one of the recommended characters that I would recommend for you to use to be able to unlock the legendary Star-Lord. So let's just go right into his kit. So this is his first attack, his crushing blow. This is actually the only attack that does damage. So as you can see, I have it at level 6. So with it being at level 6, it attacks a primary target for 300% damage, which is actually pretty good, you know, considering that he has 11,166 damage. Actually very, very good, especially for a support character that he has that high of a damage attribute or damage skill. He actually packs very much of a wallop. I could use him to kind of like finish off some characters, you know, in a few parts of the game. So do not, you know, discredit the fact that he only has one attack. This one attack packs a massive wallop. So definitely very good attack that he does have in his kit. Now let's go to the more so important aspects of his kit, which is his special attack, which is Overgrowth. So Overgrowth, number one, he gains death proof himself. And then he also applies death proof and defense up to all allies. This is one of the reasons why I think he's a very good early game character for you to have and to use, because, you know, not many a lot of support characters in the early part of the game, like your shield medic, are gonna do, or shield medic, or shield operative. I think she's a support character as well. Let me double check that, right, and make sure that I'm not talking some crap here. Yeah, so shield operative, you know, you're not gonna really get Scientist Supreme a lot in the early part of the game, but a lot of these other support characters that you do have, they don't necessarily, unless it's like Shuri, right? They don't give, in the early part of the game, they don't give, you know, certain things like defense up, or maybe like Luke Cage can, but, you know, from a support character standpoint, you know, Groot gives that death proof as well as that defense up, and he gives it to all allies when you get it all the way up to level 6, which is actually one of my recommendeds. In the early part of the game, T3s are very hard to come by, but I would say for this move to be, you know, as effective as it possibly can be, you want to make sure that you at least get this all the way up to level 6, just because he's able to apply death proof and defense up to all allies, which is very useful to be able to keep a lot of your characters alive. I use him on the Guardians team, and he helps to keep, you know, squishy characters like Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon alive. Rocket Raccoon is very important because he's the main damage dealer on that team, and of course Star-Lord is the legendary that gives some pretty good boost to the entire Guardians team, so you definitely want to be able to keep certain characters like that alive. I also like his Life Spores attack too as well, that heals all allies to 3,800 health, which is not really that great. He does have this plus 5% of the character's max health. Yes, he does have great base stats, but it's not very, very high. It's not a very high heal. It's kind of one of those, oh, we're about to die, he kind of comes in and heals them real quick just to keep them alive kind of thing. The biggest thing about this move, though, is being able to clear the 2 negative effects from all allies and apply immunity to the lowest health Guardian ally. Once again, Rocket and Star-Lord are very squishy characters, so being able to apply the immunity to the lowest health Guardian for 2 turns is very, very good, and then also being able to apply immunity is also very, very good, because then you can keep them away from having certain things. If they are low health, of course they have to be low health initially for this to actually apply to them, but if they are low health and they're about to die, and Groot kind of just comes in and saves them, clears the negative effects, applies the immunity, prevents them from getting things like defense down or bleeds, things that eat away at health, then it actually works very well. Or even offense down, because you don't want a character like Rocket to have offense down, because his ult is a big AoE attack, so you want to make sure that he keeps certain debuffs off of him, you know, also. And then my one of the kind of the sneakiest and the very good attacks that he has is his passive, or not attack, but one of his kits is passive. When Groot is attacked, he has the ability to apply slow. You do want to, at level 3 it's okay, but once you get it to level 4, it applies it at 50%, and it applies slow to the attackers for at least 1 turn, which is very, very big, because, you know, slow is actually one of the best debuffs in this game. If you can slow down characters that do massive damage, or slow down characters that, you know, can really affect the entirety of a match, you know, by having Groot put slow on them, it's really good. The reason why I put a T4 on this is because at level 4 it's only a 50% chance to apply that. At level 5 it is a guarantee that I am going to apply that slow to somebody that attacks Groot. And then also these additional buffs too as well. Health on death, of course, he has to die first, but on death, 20% chance to revive with 25% of this character's max health. And then, of course, he applies death proof to Rocket Raccoon, apply defense up to all allies, apply speed up, offense up, and counter to Guardian allies too as well. But that's pretty much basically his kit. I personally don't necessarily recommend any T4s. I only put this T4 into him because I was using them in Dark Dimension 2, which personally, you don't need to bring him into Dark Dimension 2. I wish I actually saved the alien spores and not use him in Dark Dimension 2, but he's a very good character that you can use in Dark Dimension 2. That will do a lot for you. Obviously, those slows are really big, so yeah, it goes quite a way to go there. But my recommendation when it comes to Groot is that you probably don't really need to invest into him past level 65, gear 11, 6664 in terms of his abilities. And I say 65 gear tier 11 6664 because my recommendation is that the number one team that you want to bring into Dark Dimension 1 would be the Guardians, and the Dark Dimension opens up for you when you get to level 65. So it would only make sense to at least bring the characters that you're going to be bringing into Dark Dimension 1 at least to level 65. And previously gear tier 11 was the max stat. So I think that you don't really need a character to be above gear tier 11 in order to be able to do that content. There's not a lot of red stars characters that are in that. There's not any red stars, I think, in Dark Dimension that was pre-red stars. So you should be fine with a level 65 gear tier 11 6664 Groot. No need to put any T4s on him. What weaknesses that Groot has? The weaknesses that Groot has is this right here. He's very slow. His speed is a little bit of an issue. There are times where you want Groot to flip a debuff or to clear a debuff, and to apply defense up and things like that. But because his speed is 70, it kind of does really suck that he is that slow. So you might not be able to get that off kind of initially. So that does kind of put a little bit of a cripple into the game, or into his kit or into his usability, as I would say. And then also he does have the ability to taunt when used with Rocket. When Rocket uses his special, it does ask for Groot to do an assist. Actually, Groot does assist can assist on Star-Lord and Rocket's attacks, but mainly with Rocket. Whenever he does his special, he is able to taunt, which is very good, obviously, because he has the ability to apply slow to any attacker that attacks Groot. But because when he's not used with Rocket, he doesn't taunt, that ability, you kind of lose that a little bit, which kind of does suck. So that's one of the negatives that I would find, or weaknesses that I would find with Groot. Also, Groot is not really an endgame character, so that's one thing. Very useful kit, but he does get a little bit outscaled as you kind of get through Dark Dimension 1. And even though he can be used in Dark Dimension 2, and he was very good for me in Dark Dimension 2, once again, there are other characters that you can use, and he takes alien spores, and you really want to be putting alien spores into characters like SSM and Carnage, as opposed to putting alien spores into Groot. So that's just my recommendation. There are other teams that you could use him with. The Guardians, obviously, as I mentioned, the BKT team, Star-Lord, Rocket, Thanos, Minerva, and Groot is a very good raid team. They're not great towards the end of the game, but they're very good early on raid team if you can get Thanos and if you can get Minerva to team up with that group. I do currently use my Groot in Arena. They do pretty well. I use Star-Lord, Hela, Ultron, Invisible Woman, and Groot. Does relatively well there, so I can't complain. But overall, what's my grade for a character like Groot? He's not I would say, so my grades are going to be game changing, effective, valuable, met, or irrelevant. In my opinion, Groot is a very effective character. In my opinion, I would put him just a tick up from the valuable, because I do think that Groot is very effective at what he does. Obviously, the death proofs, the defense ups, the fact that he slows attackers, the fact that he also flips, that he clears debuffs, and that he does a little bit of health, but then also the fact that he does damage. He does some really, really, really good damage with this one attack. So I think that makes him, for me, a very effective character, a little bit more than valuable. I will put him into the effective grade character range. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Groot. very, very, very good character. I think that like I said, doesn't scale very well towards the end of the game, but a very, very good character that you could use in the early part of the game. He helps you unlock a legendary character like Star-Lord, so I think for that reason, he is very good. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your thoughts are on Groot. I love him. I think he's a really good character. I use him for a long time. Obviously, I use him in Dark Dimension 2. Did very well for me there. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are, guys. And as I said before, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Also, drop a like and a comment in the video too as well. Really does help to have you guys engage with me. So thank you guys so much again. Of course, be safe. Take it easy, and of course I hope that I'm able to catch you guys on Twitch. As I said before, I'm there Tuesday through Fridays. But thank you guys again so much. Be safe and be blessed, guys.